Budgie thanks them for getting the fuel so they could dock and wishes them luck. Will then points out luck won't matter as Tigray was already here. Pony and Detective go to clear a path for the rest of the group but find Marcus instead. Detective finds a key to get into the building and they and Pony escape Marcus for the time being. Detective then finds some TNT by one of the entrances and blows open a cracked wall which had a staircase leading down. They grab a safe key inside and head out of the building to open a safe and get a key. They then go back in and find a key in the back of the building on a downstairs floor. They use the key to open an old-looking door and find caskets, a number on a set of 3 discs, and a lit candle. They take the candle and make their way over to a dark area where they light a torch, revealing the room to be a maze. They navigate through the maze and find a safe key and another number on discs. They get out of the maze and up a ladder, but are caught off guard when Marcus teleports close to Detective and Pony. Again, they are able to get away and Detective grabs a key in a room overlooking a black pit. They then open a room nearby and continue back to the room where they got the TNT, finding another number on discs in the process before opening up a storage room to get a hammer. They return to the room they previously opened, putting in the code with the discs and breaking boards blocking the exit to get a plank. They go back to the ladder and place the plank to get across a gap to open a safe and get the exit key. Detective then gets out with Pony trailing behind. Detective then gets to a bridge with Tigray on another bridge parallel to Detective's. Detective shouts to Tigray, who turns to face Detective. Detective says he's seen Tigray before and asks him his name. He responds and says he remembers Detective from Settlement 6 in the factory, adding on they stopped Willow and saved the TSP members. He then apologizes for hunting Detective, explaining he was doing what he was told rather than thinking for himself. Detective introduces themselves and says they understand the feeling. Tigray then asks what Detective is doing and they respond that they are looking for a cure to save their friend. Tigray asks if Willow's with them and Detective explains she is helping to find it. Tigray says Detective is on the wrong side and that she is using them to get to the cure before him. He continues on that Detective of all people should know this and that Willow doesn't change, putting on a show for her own selfish reasons. Detective ignores this and asks Tigray why he is looking for the cure. He responds to save a friend, just like Detective. He then asks if Detective would join him, saying he will help get Zizzy back. Detective responds saying they don't know Tigray and they could be just as dishonest as Willow. Tigray says Willow can't be trusted any more than him. He then leaves, saying his offer still stands. Pony catches up to Detective and asks what he missed. Detective says Tigray was also looking for the cure to help their friend and offered to help if they ditched Willow. Pony likes the offer and asks if he could catch up to Tigray, but Detective says they need to give Willow a chance, adding on he needs to trust her for her to trust them. Pony says he is only doing this for Zizzy and can't look at the twins without thinking of her. Detective agrees but says they can save her and tells Pony they should get the others and get to the surface. The group gets to the surface and wander outside Kona's house, which is being surrounded by explosives. Detective gets jump scared by Robbie Prototype and Kona comes out saying there's nothing to worry about as Robbie doesn't have a chainsaw and says to consider themselves lucky. He then says it's not safe and to get inside. Kona then greets Mimi as it's been years since they met and asks how she is. Mimi says it's good to see Kona as well, but says the group hasn't been. Kona agrees, then introduces himself to the rest of the group. He then says Prototype Robbie is his assistant, which Zizzy finds adorable, and Georgie questions why she would think that. And you have every right to be. Kona continues saying he's been studying the infected and says they are interesting. Mimi asks if he'd mind filling them in, and Kona explains the military evacuated everyone north when a lot of infected appeared, so the military started to bomb the place. He continues saying the infected are getting stronger and mentions the military working on a cure. He asks if this is why they are here, and Mimi confirms. Georgie then asks why Kona is here, and he responds he won't let the military take his research and intends to stay as long as he can. He then says that he and Robbie could help, but Willow doesn't think so, calling Robbie a tin can. Kona says Robbie is probably more capable than her and can't get infected. He says they can use the exit to his lab downstairs and that Robbie will escort as it isn't safe. He then jokingly adds it's probably more dangerous than outside. He then tells Robbie to keep them safe, then tells Mimi to take a portable radio with them and Kona will call if he hears anything and wishes them luck. Robbie tells Detective they will clear the path for the rest of the group, and Detective acknowledges, then asks how hard it could be. You had to ask. They get to the bottom of the lab and go outside where they find Spidella, an infected who begins to chase them. Detective grabs a key before going down the stairs and deeper into the temple. They take a right and open an old door where they find a symbol on the wall and another key. They go the opposite way they came and open another old door where they find a second symbol and a lit candle. Detective uses the candle to burn a web blocking the path and move deeper into the temple. They find a third symbol and a safe key and continue to the exit door where Robbie breaks some ice and Detective solves the puzzle then grabs a key nearby. They go back past the stairs and open yet another door leading into the lab. Detective opens a safe at the base of the stairs and gets a hammer from it before grabbing another key on the way up and opens a door at the top of the stairs, grabbing a shovel inside. They then go back to the exit and break boards on it before getting a plank. They would then clear rubble blocking a path to a nearby room that has a safe and key across. Detective places the plank in the gap and they make their way across while dodging a massive swinging axe and grabbing a safe key and opening the safe to get the exit key. Going back over the plank and avoiding the axe again, Detective opens the exit and the rest of the group go out. This alarms Tio as the group are now very close to the cure at Outpost Echo and decides to pay the group, specifically Detective, a visit. Meanwhile, Tigre manages to get inside the lab at Outpost Echo and begins to place TNT while looking for the cure. The group gets to the surface when Detective feels unwell and is brought into an illusion by Tio. Confused, Detective asks aloud where they are. They then face Bunny but immediately realize it is not real. Bunny tells Detective they are awake, but Detective exclaims they are not real, all while Zizzy and Doggy appear behind them. Detective then says they are tired of these tricks and Tio asks if they are sure of it. Detective asks who said this and Tio reveals himself. Detective asks who he is, but Tio only shows Detective an image of the school and asks if Detective recognizes them. Detective acknowledges it's the school sewers, then tries to ask a question but is cut off. Tio does the same thing, showing Detective an image of the plant. He then says they are in Detective's memories, adding on it's not the first time Detective was here. Detective remembers the hallucinations at the plant and asks if Tio did it and why. Tio rambles on about memories, hallucinations, and whispers, then explains that he is interested in Detective and has been for a while, saying Detective is unique. Detective doesn't agree, saying they're an ordinary person in this messed up world. Tio says Detective is wrong, explaining Detective is supposed to be infected when they went to the Piggy residence. He continues on saying that Detective isn't infected, but alive. Detective ignores that and asks what Tio wants, but Tio explains Detective is immune to the infection and has potential to do many things beyond their understanding. Tio then offers Detective to see their friends again, but Detective shoots the offer down, saying Tio could just be in their head. Tio asks if Detective is rejecting his offer, and Detective replies they won't fall for any tricks. Tio says they are always stubborn, but turn to him when there is no one left. He then tells Detective one last thing. If they follow their path to the cure, they will regret it. Detective shouts for Tio to leave them alone and lunges at Tio, only for Detective to be brought out of the illusion facing Pony. Willow then says if they find a camera, Detective should do that again. Pony then asks if Detective has seen Tio as well. Detective asks who Tio is, and Pony says he doesn't know and that Tio has messed with his head ever since his mind went leak, along with Tio's fashion is just as strange as him. Pony continues on saying that because Tio's been more direct with them, he doesn't like what they are doing. Detective asks how Pony met Tio, and Pony says it was after he did certain things at TSB and felt guilty. He explains Tio used that as an opportunity to get into his head, offering Pony the ability to see his family again. He continues saying this is how Tio tries to take control, by using wicked bribes. Willow jumps in, asking Pony if he told Detective what he did, and Pony says now is not the time and that they need to find the cure. Willow says Detective deserves to know the truth and threatens to tell Detective if Pony doesn't. Pony retaliates, saying she forced him to do it and that he didn't want to. Mimi then calms them down, saying they are close to finding the cure. Robbie then volunteers to stay behind and protect the twins and Georgie, as this is Robbie's duty. The three of them protest, but Mimi says they want them to stay safe and that safety isn't guaranteed where they are going. Pony mentions the twins broke them out of the cell from the sewer, adding on not even he could do that. Willow is shocked by this information and says she is impressed. Detective then says Georgie was able to survive the infection for a long time and confronted Mr. P at the plant, adding on the group is safer with them. Mimi tries to come up with something, but Georgie says she can keep any tech they find. Mimi gives in, but says not to tell Zizzy when they get back. Zizzy says bye to Robbie, and the group continue forward to Outpost Echo. Kona then talks over the radio, saying there is something happening at Outpost Echo, and she will want to hear what he has to say. He says the outpost has been quiet for a while and advises caution. Detective, Pony, and Willow get inside the outpost, while Mimi, the twins, and Georgie wait for them to find a way inside. Willow asks Detective if they have any idea what happened, with Detective responding there is very little damage, so the infected must have took the outpost by surprise. Pony takes Willow's gun and finds some bullets lying around and gets excited to use the gun. Unfortunately, an infected with a bazooka, Delta, finds the trio and begins to chase them. This triggers other infected to rise from the ground, and Pony and Willow take care of them. Detective enters a building with a cannon on the roof and finds a light code and a key to the nearby barracks that has a shovel inside. Detective then uses the shovel to dig up multiple snow piles until they find a ladder to get up to the cannon. They use the cannon to blow up rocks to get into a cave leading into the lab. At the entrance to the cave, Detective grabs a key to a building above the cave and grabs a rope from inside. They then enter another building nearby and grab a safe key along with another light code and a third behind the first building. They head back down to the cave and use the rope to get across the gap to the elevator leading to the lab. They take a key near the elevator and enter the light code. They then use the key to unlock a lookout tower above the cave and unlock a safe inside where they get an elevator key and another key next to the safe. They go back down and open the other lookout tower to get another safe key and head to the tent in the center to unlock a safe there and get some TNT. They use the TNT to blow up rocks blocking the elevator to the lab and enter the elevator. The trio then head back to the entrance to the outpost where Pony tells the rest of the group they found a way inside and he'll catch up with them soon. He then pulls Detective aside and asks to talk to them. Detective agrees and Pony says Will is right and that he should tell Detective something. He explains that at the carnival he thought Detective was infected because he gave Detective the potion. Detective makes the connection to the forest and asks if that was Pony. He admits it was and that he wasn't proud of it, nor did he have a choice. Detective turns away saying they trusted Pony. Pony apologizes and explains if he forgot about it, they could stay friends, adding on he doesn't want to lose Detective. Detective says Pony tried to infect them and doesn't know if Pony will try to do it again. Pony says he knows what type of person Detective is and claims the world can't lose someone like that. Georgie then steps in saying someone once told him to forgive those who hurt him, because if he does, he is no better than that person. He continues on saying Detective told them that and tells them not to forget it, and everyone makes mistakes but tries not to repeat them. Detective agrees, turning back to Pony saying they can't forgive Pony but are still friends. Pony thanks Detective and they start to head to the elevator but are stopped by Willow, who just found out Daisy is one of the infected soldiers. Detective asks if she is okay and wonders what she is looking at. Willow says it's nothing and everything is fine. She then says they should get the cure and leave. The group enters the lab and Pony says they should split up and yell if someone finds the cure. Willow takes off alone after this and Mimi agrees to the plan. Detective follows Willow down the hall and sees her confront Tigry, who just placed some TNT. Tigry says he had a feeling Willow would show up, but she says the TNT was clever, but would never work in the long run. Tiger responds saying Willow would never work in the long run, adding she is a mess and hurts everyone she has gotten close to. Willow doesn't like this statement, but Tiger continues saying Willow has been nothing but a bully since he met her. He was once scared of her, but now he is ready to stand up for himself. Willow says she had fed, sheltered, and kept Tiger safe and wonders why this is what she gets in return. Tiger says it's more than she deserves and Willow has had enough and taunts Tiger, saying that he is all talk and wonders what he could possibly do. Tiger says she is about to find out, with Detective trying to get them to stop, but is of no use. The following can only be described as the best fight scene in Piggy. Willow says Tiger is not as bad as she thought, and Tiger responds there's more to him she is about to discover. The fight continues with Willow knocking Tiger to the floor, then holding him in a chokehold. They are interrupted by Tiger's TNT going off around the lab, and debris separate Willow and Tiger from Detective. Detective now has to find a way out on their own and goes through the door where Penny is waiting. Detective gets to the door, saying to themselves they will look for the cure, then find the others, reminding themselves they have been through worse. They get down the hall and see a door to their left with a code pad to open it. They continue on through a door at the end of the hall and grab a key nearby and open a door in the hall they came from. Detective gets through the door and into a research area that held 2 key cards in it. Detective takes the cards before running into Penny, who begins chasing them. Detective makes their way to a sealed-off door but unlocks it with one of the cards and escapes Penny as they head down a set of stairs. Detective makes their way through some halls until they enter a spacious area with holes in the ceiling containing a safe key. Penny then teleports to Detective the same way Marcus did, and the chase ensues with Detective grabbing a wrench in a hallway before losing Penny in an area with levers and doors that will close and open at random. Detective grabs another safe key from the outer parts of the area, then uses their second card to open the center area and unlock a safe in the middle, grabbing a key inside. They then head upstairs and crawl into a rusty vent that had a crawling black creature inside. They make their way through the vents and use the wrench to open up a room that has a safe inside. They then use the other safe key to open it and get a keycard. They use the keycard to open a sealed door which had a door at the end that needs power from levers to open. They then use the wrench to break open vent covers that reveal numbers that they then use to open the door they first saw and find Mimi. Detective tells her to use the radio to get help while Detective continues to look for the cure. Mimi acknowledges and Detective heads downstairs to a power room and opens a door to the control panel. They flick a switch, then go upstairs above the room and hit a button to turn on the power. They return to the door that requires power and look at the panel to figure out which levers they need to power the door. They go to the area with the levers and hit the correct levers and go back to the door only to find Willow and Tiger already inside with the cure they have been searching for on the shelf, along with the badly beaten Tiger. He pleads for Willow to finish it, but Detective steps in, telling Willow to direct her anger towards the infected if she has been suffering. Detective continues saying taking out each other is not how they survive, adding on they survive by helping each other. Detective reminds Willow at the factory she was focused on revenge, she didn't see the other TSP members in danger. They tell Willow if she wants to make a difference, she needs to stop this. Tiger then says to Willow they are alike and that they both keep their pain buried inside, adding on they both are alone and got separated from their friends and family. He tells her when they first met, she listened to him talk endlessly about how he felt, never interrupting. He ends off saying he wishes they could go back to the way things were. Mimi appears behind them saying the 3 of them are going to want to see what's happening outside. They then take the cure and go outside. The entire group gather outside to watch an osprey land in front of them, commanded by Sergeant Monroe. He talks to the group saying they got a distress call from civilians, among which are a deserter and a criminal. Detective tells him they have the cure, which Monroe has already heard, and explains that it's a shame that of all outposts, this one was wiped out, adding on it's almost like something tried to stop it. Almost on cue, a lot of infected rise from the snow, including Marcus, Ellie, Coley, and Alphys. Monroe doesn't like this and tells the soldiers accompanying him to ready their weapons. Tio then brings Detective into another illusion and confesses his disappointment. Detective tries to tell him off, but doesn't know his name. Tio then introduces himself by name and says he warned Detective not to follow this path, adding on he was trying to save everyone and wonders why Detective couldn't see that. He continues by saying free will is destructive and is what destroyed Detective's world, mentioning what Mr. P did. He says many will fight for the cure and that it will start a war over it. He says that war will not be against the infected, but among themselves. Detective disagrees, saying the cure is hope for the future and a way to bring back the world to how it was before the infection. Tio tells Detective they are too oblivious to foresee the destruction of the future. He then tells Detective he will have no other choice than to stop Detective and the group. He then transforms into a tall black figure with glowing details. Detective, Pony, Georgie, and Z are then brought into an illusion as they have all been in contact with Tio. Pony says Tio brought them to their memories, adding on what they are seeing isn't real and Tio's using their minds against them. Detective is back at the alley with Tio farther behind, closing in. Detective quickly finds the code needed to get out and enters the next room, a storage room in the Modora. Again, Detective punches in the code and gets to the next room, this time at Doveport, and again, Detective makes short work of the code. The following room is at the temple and opened with ease. The final room is at Outpost Echo, with Detective opening the door and getting transported to a maze with 3 rooms, each with one of Detective's friends and an infected person that friend has had a deep connection to. Pony with his infected dad on the roof of a building in Lucella, Georgie hanging from an upper floor of his home over an infected Penny, and Z standing face to face with an infected Zizzy at the safe place. Detective makes their way to Z's room and grabs a wood sword and gives it to Pony, who defeats his father with it. Detective then grabs a wood bat and brings it to Georgie, who escapes Penny with it. Finally, Detective takes a rusty pipe and brings it to Z, who takes out the infected Zizzy with it. This enrages Tio as he begins to chase Detective, but Detective realizes they can use their own memories to fight Tio. Detective grabs a bone, some grass, and a carrot and heads up a newly opened passageway. They are greeted by 2 black figures, one with glowing white details and the other with black details. Detective navigates yet another maze and finds Doggy in the gallery, Zizzy in the mall, and Bunny at the hospital. Detective gives them their items and the 3 of them beat Tio. Tio's heart is then pulled out of him with Tio crying out before Detective, Pony, Georgie, and Z are brought out of the illusion. Monroe says they have taken care of the infected and congratulates everyone, then asks to see the cure. Pony thanks Detective, saying Tio brought him to similar places but was never that aggressive. Georgie agrees but doesn't know what to think of his sister, but eventually says Tio got what was coming to him. Detective says they are happy to help, adding on none of them deserve to go through that. Willow tells Tigre she is sorry for everything she's done, with Tigre saying no kidding, adding on she hurt him. She explains she got so caught up with revenge she wasn't thinking about what she was saying and doing to those around her. She continues on saying if she wants to feel the way she did before, she needs to let go of her past and make a better future. Tigre says he will give her another chance and this will be her last. Willow says the military probably won't take them and recommends they travel their own way and that Tigre can take charge. Tigre says they don't want to be in charge but just want to have a say. Willow is fine with that and Detective asks if this is a goodbye. Willow says it's never goodbye and thanks Detective for helping her realize in her pursuit for revenge she was only pushing away others around her. She adds on that it was losing others that caused it in the first place and Detective tells her not to cause any trouble. She says no promises and wishes them luck with saving their friends. Monroe then says they should get going, adding on they have a mission to complete. Willow and Tigre make their way back across the North Sea and head towards what remains of Settlement 6. Tigre spots a military recruitment page and has a flashback of the last mission he had in the military. Willow says he must have seen a ghost, with Tigre agreeing. Willow tells him he can't let the past get to him, and Tigre makes fun of her. Willow gets the joke but says she is doing a better job of keeping herself together than Tigre. Tigre then asks Willow why she reached out to him, and she answers she felt like helping out. Tigre questions this, and Willow says she didn't like seeing another animal suffering alone. She then takes back her statement, and Tigre says he will keep asking until she tells him the real answer. Willow then threatens to push him into a nearby bush if he does, and the two continue walking. A legend then appears of a ranger who appears and disappears saving travelers. One person who picked up the legend goes by the name Kate Clip, who doesn't want to be found by the military. Pony has a final hallucination back at Kono's house where the Safe Place group, including Giraffe and Zizzy, are there, and Detective, Pony, and Zizzy gather by a table. Pony mentions the price of carrots have gone up, and Zizzy suggests making a carrot farm. Pony then immediately says the price of carrots doesn't seem that bad. And that will be all for the timeline. I do realize there are notes in Piggy Inner City, but I want to save those for when Inner City does come out. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you'd like to see more of this, you know what to do. Goodbye.